Hi folks, it's Evo here from Thundermist Lure Company. Welcome to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. We are out here fishing the salt waters of Buzzards Bay. I've got Phil and Antonio with me. What a great day we got upon us, folks. We're really excited because when it comes to saltwater fishing, you never know what you're going to catch. And today, folks, it's funny. I was running the gold Stingnose just 2 weeks ago for perch back home, and now I'm running the new gold Stingnose here in saltwater. And I got myself a little sea bass. Okay, and speaking of little, now what we're doing today, we're doing something a little different. Just in the bottom lip there. We're using the smaller Stingnose jigging spoons. Right there is the 1/4 ounce or 3/4 ounce size. Now, normally, when we're fishing in saltwater, we're running, Antonio's on, we're running the 1 3/4 or 2 3/4 ounce. But today, folks, we're doing something a little different because there's porgy out here, or scup. There's also tautog and sea bass. So we've gone with the 3/4 ounce, and it's not too rough out here, so we can get away with using it. So, like I say, normally we'd go heavier, but today we're going 3/4 ounce. And Antonio, you've got something on.
What you got, Antonio?
It looks like a nice sea bass.
It's a good one.
And there he goes.
Oh, you lost him.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, so that's going to be the technique today. And in fact, folks, what we're going to do, look what I got. I got a snail. Okay.
Fight it all, Evo?
Yeah, he gave me a great fight. The other thing we're doing with these little 3/4 ounce Stingnose is we're casting them out and we're jigging them back. So we could vertically jig just straight down below, but we're having a little fun casting and jigging them back and covering more water. And like I say, we can get away with it because we're only fishing 26 to 28 feet, and it's just a slight breeze here. We've got a little chop on the water, but it's nothing too major, so you could easily use a smaller, lighter jig. And by doing so, like I say, if there's porgies here, a scup, we'll catch those as well as the sea bass. So it's the best of both worlds. So glad you could join us, folks. We've got a great day upon us. You just lost that one, and I just set the hook on another one. And it was out there on the jig. When you cast and jig, folks, you still work it close to the bottom, just as you would when you're vertically jigging, except you're just covering a little more ground and you're just jigging it back towards you. And the reason we went with the gold as opposed to the silver, the gold is a new color, we just come out with the gold this year, is because the water's a little stained today. It's a little murky, and the gold works great in murky water. And this sun will pick up the gold as well very nicely. Okay, a little bit bigger. That's a nicer sea bass. Hey? Yeah, that's probably a keeper size. The 15 inches are keeper size. He's looks like a keeper, but we're gonna release him today. Oh, get the slime off the hands. Don't want to lose the rod on a cast. Yeah, I just cast it out there. Not too far. Down to the bottom it goes, and we'll jig it right back.
Small fish?
Yep, means scup.
You know what? It's a tiny sea bass.
Oh, little sea bass.
Wow, he's feisty. I got him on the 1/2 ounce gold.
Oh, you went with a 1/2 ounce. You even went smaller than I've got. Oh.
Well, I've got the small ones and the big ones on. I got another rod rigged with a 2 1/4 ounce. So.
Well, you go from one extreme to the other.
I might even fish with 2 rods if you're lucky.
I got another snail.
Nice.
Okay, let's show the technique. I want to show you this technique, folks, because it is a little different with the jigging spoon. Normally I drop the jigging spoon straight down. Let it hit the bottom, jig it up, let it flutter down. It's a great system, and it catches tons of fish. But today, like I say, we're just having some fun with this cast and retrieve method. So I cast it all the way out there, let it get to the bottom, and then lift it up, take up the slack, let it flutter back down, lift it up, take up the slack, let it flutter back down. And then what happens, folks, is you will feel the hit as they'll hit it on the way down before it hits the bottom. And that's it. It's a lot of fun because you can cover a lot of ground that way and catch a lot of fish. And when it's calm like this, you can get away with a lighter jig as well. So that's what we're doing today. That's the technique. Very, very simple. Then when I get it all the way back to the boat, Then I'll fish it vertically for a minute, just like Phil's doing right now, and then bring it in and cast it out again.
Feels like a scup, Evo.
Right at the boat, right? You got
Pretty much.
You brought it back in and jigged it right at the boat.
Pretty much. But he took a little run, so he's a little bit farther now. Oh, starting to wake up. Maybe it's not a small scup after all.
No, you might have a good sea bass on there, Phil.
It feels more like a sea bass now. We shall see. Hopefully.
Exactly what it is.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's a bigger one.
That's not too bad.
Well,
Yeah.
probably close to keeper size.
Here's one.
Nice hook set, Antonio. Now you got the small one on, or did you upsize?
I upsized. One cast with the small one, another cast with the big one. But they yield the same type of fish.
Oh, there's one too. I just hooked into one. Doesn't feel that big either, but actually it feels decent. Feels decent. Now it just goes to show you, on those big lures you still can catch small fish. And on the small lures you can catch big fish. It just depends. Actually, these smaller lures, they got a small a slower fall to them than the bigger ones do. So if the fish are tentative for any reason, you could always downsize anyhow, regardless. I mean, they don't seem to be tentative today. However, if they were, downsizing would be a good thing to do. Okay. Yeah, he bit about 20 feet away from the boat. Sometimes it's just easier, folks, to have a pair of needle nose handy, especially with treble hooks. See how easy that was. And away he goes. And we'll do another cast.
Okay, this one bit a little farther out, Evo.
You cast it out,
Yeah.
and whammo.
Pretty much on the drop.
What size you have? You have the 3/4 ounce as well?
No, I got half ounce.
Oh, you went smaller.
Yeah,
Oh, I
half
just
ounce.
missed a nice fish.
I saw that. I saw
Man.
that. He might come back after it.
Get him, Antonio.
Caught me off guard.
No scup yet.
It's another sea bass. It's a
nicer
bigger
one.
one, yeah. Thanks, Antonio.
Yep.
That one looks like it would be keeper size.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you know, it's around 15 inch. Not huge, but nice.
Yep. Time to play Dr. Phil here.
You got the needle nose?
Oh, it's not too bad.
Performing surgery?
Yep.
That was a solid. When they hit, they really hit hard. That was a solid hit. Feels like a nicer fish, actually.
Is it bigger?
It feels bigger, yeah. Okay, if I can get them in. They're strong, these sea bass. Even the smaller ones are strong. If it's a sea bass. If I can get them in here. Oh yeah, it's a sea bass. It's a decent one. Okay, yeah, that's a good sea bass. Oh, come on, Mr. Sea Bass. Yeah, that's a better fish right there.
Measure for sure, yeah.
Hey?
You'll measure for sure.
Oh, yeah, that one measures easy. In fact, we're gonna keep this fish. We're gonna keep this fish, so. Come on, there we go. Yeah, we'll keep this one. That's a nicer fish. Yeah, we're gonna keep that fish. Okay. In the live well. And back out we go. I don't know, this little 3/4 ounce size seems to be doing it. Got a big wake coming behind you, Antonio. Be careful. Yeah, right there.
Oh, wow.
Big boat went by. Hang on. That'll help your jigging. It's a big boat. Oh boy. This 26 to 28 foot zone seems to be doing it today as well. And it's just another smaller sea bass. It's okay, they're all big on fun, that's for sure. He hit it really good too. Needle nose, take my own advice. Okay. More wake. Okay, Mr. Sea Bass. There you go. Now the other thing you could do, I mean, we're drifting today, so we're covering a fair amount of ground just because we're drifting. However, the other thing that I'm doing is I'm casting it off towards the front of the boat and then slowly working it back as the tide and the wind is blowing us back. So I'm covering also different ground, not just the ground in front of the boat.
Got Antonio?
Yeah.
Nice.
Half ounce.
I was just gonna ask, half ounce? You went small.
I saw you catching those fish, so I switched up again.
What's it feel like?
Feels like a fish. It's a sea bass. Yeah. Average size. A little small. I'll swing him in. Yeah, I have one rod set up with the heavier spoon, and I got this other one set up with the lighter one. It's easy to switch.
And you're getting them on both, aren't you?
Yeah.
This feels like a scup, I think, Eagle.
Right at the boat again.
Yeah, right at the boat. Yeah, it's looking pretty silvery, so yeah.
I see a silver flash.
Yeah. Mr. Scup.
And that's why we're using the smaller Stingnose, so we can catch both.
That's right. Come on.
He hammered it too, didn't he?
Yeah, it's fun.
You just dropped it right back in.
This one must have been its
That's another scup.
best friend or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in a little scup zone there.
Yeah.
There's one.
Nice.
Scuppy?
Yep.
Scup zone. Well, like I say, that's why you use the smaller spoon, right? You can catch both scup and sea bass at the same time.
Or sea robin.
I can't believe it. You got a sea robin. That's a different one than we normally see here.
Yeah.
Stingnose does not discriminate. Catches everything.
Yeah, this one's got smaller wings and looks a bit different.
It's got a black dot on his fin too. On his top fin, I see a black spot.
He's talking.
Weird looking fish, eh?
Full of spikes.
Yeah. I've had one or two of their spikes in my finger before. We got a double. You're on, I'm on, Phil.
Yeah, you're on too, eh?
I'm on too. You got a scup? I think I got a sea bass. You're in the scup zone, Phil.
I am.
You got the scup hot hand.
What do you got, Eve?
I think it's a sea bass, but we'll see here. Gave me a good solid hit. Now I said, actually no, it looks like a scup. It is a scup. He gave me a good hit actually. Okay, there we go. Well, we're getting a variety of fish today. That's a keeper too. They got to be 10 inches, but that's a nice keeper scup. So scup, we're getting sea bass. And you know what, folks? We're just having fun. Packed ourselves a nice lunch. It's a phenomenal day. You wait all winter for days like this. You got to take advantage of days like this and enjoy the days on the water, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to finish this drift, go up and do another drift, and like I said, you don't have to drift. You could use this technique from an anchor. It's just as good. But either way, folks, I'm so glad you've joined us. Hope you get an opportunity to give saltwater fishing a try. Thanks ever so much for tuning in to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips, and as always, until next time, good luck and good fishing.